So, when I'm learning a language, I consume a lot of native content, whether it be books, movies, TV series, articles, whatever it is. However, even though I always learn languages by myself, there are a lot of things that are missing. The biggest thing that is missing is the help of a native speaker. Sometimes I would come across phrases or words that I don't know, and of course, I would always consult Google. But a lot of times, Google, being the good friend that he is, he lets me down quite often. So sometimes I really wish I had a native speaker with me to actually tell me what those phrases mean in that context. Because sometimes when I learn languages that don't have a lot of resources online, it's a little hard to use Google to find these answers, which is why here I want to tell you about an app where you can use to ask native speakers in any language that you're trying to learn. So this app is called hinative, and hinative is an app where you can ask questions to native speakers about anything that is related to a language that you're learning. This app is available in 113 different languages. So if you guys are learning German or Mandarin or Japanese, you can still use this app. It's really cool. And the best thing is that you get to use this app for free. All you have to do is simply go on the Apple App Store or Google Play Store to download it. So let me show you how the app works. So basically, the biggest feature of this app is your ability to ask questions to native speakers. So as you can see here, the ask button is just right there very clearly because that's what you want to do in this app. So let's try to see. So you see on my YouTube, I get a lot of comments like, can you please correct this sentence for me? Or how do you say this and that in English? Or even, does this sentence sound natural? So as much as I love and appreciate my subscribers, I cannot always answer these questions on my YouTube comments. And that is what this app is for. So let's explore this together. Ask. So here you have a list of question format that you can use immediately. So this is kind of like a template, you know? So let's try what does this mean. So let's say I found a word in English that I don't know, and that would be a fair share. Okay, let's see, I wanna ask that, and I'm just going to say next. There you go. So my question is already posted out there, and I can just wait for a native speaker to give me the answer. So let's explore other forms of questions. So please show me example sentences with a fair share. Let's see that again. And there you go again. I can just wait for native speaker to answer my question. And you can also explore a lot of the questions that many other users use. And one thing that is great about this is that this app does not have a DM function, because it's often the case that when you use language exchange apps, there are private messages, and a lot of people misuse it as, you know, for dating apps to meet girls. So for those of you ladies, especially ladies who feel a little discouraged to use these kinds of apps, don't worry, you are not gonna get all of those weird messages from random people asking your name or phone number, whatever, because these are all public and everybody could see your message. So let's see. So you can also ask questions about pronunciation. So let's do that together. How's my pronunciation? So I'm gonna read a random sentence from an article. Okay, so I found an article and I'm just going to read out loud one sentence and record it here. Moving to a new city in another state can prove to be the best decision you've made in a long, long time. So you can record yourself for 10 seconds for free, but if you get the premium membership, of course, you can record for much longer. Moving to a new city in another state can prove to be the best decision you've made in a long, long time. So there goes with the pronunciation, and then let's see what's the difference. So earlier I asked about what a fair share is, but I also hear a lot people say my fair share. So I can ask, what is it between my fair share and a fair share? There you go. I can also ask a simple pronunciation question. So let's say the word certainty. Let's look at other questions that we can ask. Here, you can also ask about a country or a region. So if you're traveling to a new city or a country, you can also ask a native speaker about this. So let's see, I want to ask something about, let's say I'm going to Australia. Let's see. What's the best city to visit as a first timer in Australia? So yes, so not about languages, you can also ask things about culture, about their country, about travel even. So this is really cool. So you can also ask a free question. So you can use you can ask questions without using any of these formats. So I'm going to ask, when do I use due to versus because? Because in Bahasa Indonesia, they have the same word, but for some reason in English, you can use either. So I'm going to ask what the difference is. Okay, so if I go to the home page of this app, I can also scroll around and look at other questions that a lot of other users are posting. And if I feel generous and if I feel like, I want to answer a question, I can do that and I would get points. So for instance, here there's a question by an Indonesian saying, how do you say aku berprasangka buruk pada dirinya in English US? So I can answer that. I have a bad feeling about him or her. And then I would answer that. There you go. So, and then the other user, Trisa Putri, can rate my answer, whether or not it was good, bad, or reliable, unreliable, and we'll see. Amicable. Let's say I would also like to learn, since right now I'm learning French, I can also ask questions about other languages that I'm learning. Remember guys, this app is available in 113 different languages. So if you guys are learning German or Mandarin or Japanese, you can still use this app. It's really cool. How do I say, let's say, place in French? Place. So this is a very simple question, but I can also add a little bit to give a bit more detail to my to my question. So, this place. There's a new place in town. I'm looking for a place to work. There you go. And then I can also ask in the difference in droit lieu, because they both mean place, I believe. So I'm just going to wait. So if you subscribe to the premium feature, which I recommend, you will have access to these two additional question templates. Does this sound natural and foreign language diary? Let's look into this together. So with Does This Sound Natural, it's very helpful because sometimes even if you try to translate a sentence from your native language to English and they sound grammatically correct, it doesn't always sound natural. So remember, sentences that are grammatically correct don't always sound natural. So let's try this. So I'm gonna write, my friend and me is going to eat dinner tomorrow night. Want to join? So this is kind of correct, so I kind of mess it up on purpose. It's actually, my friend and I are going to eat dinner tomorrow night. But also, to eat dinner tomorrow night sounds a little less natural. Usually people would say, my friend and I are having dinner tomorrow night. You wanna come? So Even though this is understandable, it sounds okay, it doesn't sound exactly natural. It doesn't sound like how native speakers would say it. So I'm going to press next and post my question. And then again, I'm gonna wait for a native speaker to say if this is natural or not. And please don't be discouraged, guys, if native speakers say that it doesn't sound natural. I mean, we're all learning, right? And of course, if it doesn't sound natural, more often than not, they will tell you a better way to say it to sound more native-like. And there you go, guys. And that's how you use this app, hinative. So many of these question formats can be asked for free, except for does this sound natural and foreign language diary. So in order for you to access that, you're gonna have to subscribe for the premium membership. But so far, even with just the free version, you can ask a lot of things already. So this app is actually very, very useful to be able to get feedback from native speakers. So what's good about this app is that this app is quite active and it's quite up to date. So when you ask questions, you can be sure that when native speakers answer it, it's an up-to-date answer. So make sure you download hinative using the link that I provide in the description box and the comments below, and make sure that you have fun and play with it, because it's actually very, very fun and you can really bring your language skills to the next level. So there you go. I hope you guys like this video. If you do, give it a thumbs up, and I will see you next week in another video. Until then, take care and bye-bye.